Man, oh man. So that is Big Conspiracy Wednesday. Also, wonderful day with our guests, learning about this Gravity Summit event. It's going to be really hot. So exciting about that. And so it's been a unique broadcast.
Yes, it has, man. You're enjoying it, aren't you?
I'm loving it.
Now, I'm going to tell you this much. I recommend you, before we get into the next subject, because we don't have that much time, but we have somebody here who can't wait to go into the Penn State talk, because it is the paternal day of laying him to rest. But nothing will ever trump Heather Clay saying, I want to talk about the Iowa caucus, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's hard.
Get up on it. Get up on it.
You can't beat that, man.
No, come on now.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for New Sports. Victor Allen's own Neil Urban look at sports. Written, produced by Victor Allen. Hot and sexy. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here's Vic.
Get him, Vic. Get him, Vic.
You're wrong. You know what? I would cover traditional events with sports, but because we have a special guest here, and I always pay attention to a social marketing consultant guru,
Yes.
okay, I have
free
to do
consultation.
That. Thank you. So
That's right. We appreciate it.
You know what they say? I advocate. They say I have a problem using words, but I'm gonna go right into it. Penn State, Joe has been laid to rest, right? Okay, and everybody's talking about it. And
what is his legacy? That's the talk.
I know we covered it yesterday, right? Okay, now we covered it yesterday, and Mario and I, we massaged it in different ways, and we came out with probably the same conclusion. But since we have special
I'm
guests,
not sure. I thought.
So wait a minute.
I think to be a little softer on it, even though at the risk of having people accuse me being soft on, but I'm not. I just said that just look at the man's life. It certainly deserves a far greater focus than only on that event. We all have had areas where we came up short. And I merely mentioned areas where people we know and love have come up short. I saw Joe Namath drunk, okay, that was my hero. I got hero.
That was like the Nelvis sighting.
Yeah. Okay, I've seen him. Okay, you guys, whatever. Everybody got it. People, Joe Namath, okay. So, they know I like Joe Namath, okay,
Joe
but whatever.
Namath wore pantyhose. That's all I'm going to say.
But so we brought up the thing, and I was just saying, Joe Paterno, at my age, you look over the totality of someone's life. And every person I know has made mistakes. Some of them are worse than others. You just don't know.
Right.
And so you get, as another human being, I think what you're seeing is that the people who loved him, who benefited from him, who are coming forward to speak in his behalf, because it's a complex thing. We all have areas where we have come up short, and that's one for him. But you still have to love the man for all the other things that he's done. And I think that's what you're seeing. This man has got people crying, grown football players crying, okay? Right. Yeah. And I was not a big Joe Paterno fan because I wasn't a Penn State fan, but what gets me is when people come forward with the testimonies. People don't do that, and they're compelled to do that even in the face. Right. Even in the face of all that controversy.
Well, I'm going to let Mark go right in right away, but most people, if you go back and look, that Paterno came into Penn State under an offer scandal. So when you go back, and I don't have all the details.
There's always scandals. And back then, scandals were out of any damn thing. Right. What was a scandal then?
Wow, that's so long ago.
Yeah. See, in other words, he was sort of the man who could come in and get things done and what have you. So I'm not going to spend time on it, but just let you know that there's this correlation. So before I go any further, because the man is going to issue in the Penn State subject, and he's directing this ship right now is Mark. Mark, you have that, man.
All right, everybody. Mark Francis, Sportz marketing consultant. I told him I was going to get it right. I keep saying it. It'll be all right.
You know what? I'll start it off yesterday. I was listening to Fox Sports. I listened to Petros and Money and all those guys. And one of the guys who was talking yesterday said, the thing with Paterno is that he didn't do these crimes.
That's right.
But the way the media handled it, they weren't at Sandusky's house. The guy that did all these things, they were at Paterno's house.
That's right.
Yeah. And I hadn't really thought of it in those terms before, but they were right. And for me, I watched Joe Paterno for the first time. I think I was 10 years old, and I'm watching a Penn State, Texas, thing back in the 70s. And I followed him all the way along, and for me, his legacy doesn't really change. Although, obviously the sexual abuse stuff is an incredibly serious thing. If he's guilty of anything, and I'm not sure that he is. I'm thinking, you know, he did what he was supposed to do in terms of notifying his superiors and the protocol. And people have to understand that there is a protocol and a chain of command in those types of environments. And he was very insulated from, you know, traditional societies, you know, as far as we could see it. And those people really dropped the ball as well. And certainly they're paying the price, the athletic director and the president and all of that. In terms of how he was treated, I don't think it was the best. It was certainly not respectful of a guy that's been at your university for 61 years or 65 years, whatever it was. You know, to send a messenger over with a note. You know, when there has been no investigation, when there hasn't, the information's not out there.
Yeah.
I
that's
have
not
a problem
good.
with that. That's not cool.
I absolutely, that's the one step I absolutely said.
You deserve better.
That was ridiculous.
You treat him like your loved one who's been caught up in a serious issue, right?
Yeah.
But they're caught up, but you're still your loved one. Your son gets arrested for DUI or, you know, theft, embezzlement, or even, you know, I'm just saying, you still have to support them. You don't just, you know, dump them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what Penn shows you, again, Penn, it kind of indicts the institution to me.
No question. I think, you know, it's really a case of what they would call willful blindness in legal terms, is that everybody seemed to know there was a problem, and I'm sure Joe Paterno went to his grave in the back of his mind wondering, especially now because it's come out,
right?
How many abuse situations could I have prevented had I gone to the...
But Mark...
had I taken it first.
Exactly, Mark. But you know what's so funny? This is where hindsight is so funny. I can think of times in the past when people openly abuse kids at school for being gay or feminine, that no one stepped up. Yeah. What was that then? I can remember people did it on the basis of race, and no one stepped up. I can remember people doing it to women in the job place. Still do, right? So when we look further back, everybody did stuff where they turned their head. Yeah. You know, with poor Joe Paterno, I have to say, even because of my mother and how uncomfortable she is sometimes discussing sexual things or using certain... See, I mean, if you think of a different generation, those of us who are lucky enough to remember, know how our parents are. Yeah. You know, imagine discussing sodomizing a little boy with your mom. You know, that for my mom, that's a hard... She's got to use... She can't say... But there is the thing, too, that, like you said, he didn't do it. Now, Mike McCreary... This is where we threw a little different, and again, it's all about being in their shoes. You walk in and see the coach sodomizing a young boy. That old coach is not a physical threat to you. In other words, it's one thing if you walk in and see some giant 6'8" NFL middle linebacker sodomizing a little boy. You might have some fear in your mind about interrupting. Yeah. You walk in and old man sodomizing a little boy. Now, you can be a hero now. You can throw a cape on and dive in with power and strength and smite the bad guy, do all the other shit, but you choose to walk out. Yeah. So you don't even break it up. Even I said... even if it was an NFL giant man, you could yell, I see what you're doing. I'm going to get the police. I'm going to get the police. I'm running now. You could even yell that and run. Now, it's a different level of indictment to turn and walk away on an old man sodomizing a little boy when he's not a physical threat to you.
Here's the dynamic, and I mean, we really don't know specifically what happened in there yet.
Yeah, even though it's into that.
But the dynamic, and this is just to play the devil's advocate, I don't give Mike McCreary a pass on this at all, you know. But it is hard to tell what anybody would do in that situation unless you're there. I forget what I was going to say now. My memory, my Alzheimer's.
Well, that's how the choice he had to do at that time. Right. Because he described smacking sounds
what I was gonna say,
and motions.
Come back to me now.
I thought we'd do it.
It's that it hasn't been widely reported that Sandusky, I mean, McCreary at the time, I think 27 years old. Yeah. He's essentially a grad student, assistant kid, trying to make a name for himself and whatever. Sandusky was his direct superior at that time. Right. And so McCreary goes home, talks to his dad, you know, whatever, and I'm sure they said, you know, this is 98? Yeah. You know, just after the whistleblower legislation started to come into play and all that. Yeah. You know, you go and do this. You know, this could ruin your career. I'm sure they had that
Sure.
conversation.
Oh, yes.
Sure you
yes. Yes.
And so he felt, okay, well, you did enough. You went to Paterno. He's the big cheese. He'll handle it. And then Paterno did exactly the same thing. He went to his boss.
No one wants to, pass the buck.
His boss, and nobody handled it.
Right.
You know, it's interesting. Like you said, there's instances where a lot of us, like you said, I'm not questioning what happens when you get in your shoes. I just say pretend like your son, daughter, or sister are in that position.
Absolutely.
You're going to wish. You're going to sit there and look at that person. You're not going to go over to the person who got the information after. You're going to go and say, well, what did you do? And you're going to sit there and say, what would you do? It's easy for us, like you said, to be Monday morning quarterbacks. But at least yelling, screaming, if you don't do anything
Interrupt
physical,
it.
Say something.
Yes.
Says, at this point right now, first of all, when you're that age, you know something's wrong. So you know.
Oh, yeah.
And even if you don't say nothing, imagine now you're still seeing that coach on an everyday level. So how do you handle yourself?
How do you look him in the face?
You're not going to even approach him the same way. So you're stuck with something that nobody else knows. You're living with it. The coach knows you have it, and you're around him every day for the term that you're there. That's extra pain and suffering on that individual, and nobody else knows. That's it. I'd go ahead, I have to say something. Mm-hmm. Only because I keep putting the position of somebody I love, somebody that's part of me.
Yeah.
There, I'm going to wish you do whatever it takes.
That's right.
It's different when you exercise it from a legal point of view, but when you're talking from a human point of view, I know. Somebody says, what would you want to do? I said, imagine. I would want you to go and do the best you can and then yell help while you're trying to do the best you can.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking, but nothing.
It's like it's whistleblowing. We talked about the financial whistleblowers, right? There were some who tried to warn. Remember, if it's all going this way, who are you to be the one to come in and say, stop? I mean, I know that's the part where you and your human side makes you not want to point as much finger, because we know how hard it must be.
Yes.
And it has something to do with the level of crime. Mm-hmm. If I see you stealing, it's easier for me to turn my head on that.
Right.
There's levels. If I see you shoot somebody, well, it's a lot harder, okay? Or raping people, all that kind of stuff, it makes you know. But there's no question, we all have ideas of what this is like.
Yep.
And that's part of maybe what bothers so many of us, is it makes us think about ourselves and we get a little nervous and uptight because
you think about
this one too, I think, is really interesting because a lot of what happens when you begin to feel that emotion, like he's talking about, and it's on all fronts in this story, and it's all about what didn't happen instead of what did.
Yeah.
And it's really, we're not used to a storyline that flows that way.
No.
We're on the facts, and you did this, and you said that. And it's like, this is the complete other side of the story.
Yeah. You know, the part that gets me is the message that's going out that should now embrace coaching and people who are under the conferences, the presidents, that they do have the board, they have the conference, they have the presidents. They also have what they call the hierarchy that governs the money, the influence that comes in. But if Penn State's Paterno is treated this way as it relates to the people who are saying before the legal findings are conclusive, you get a note going bye-bye. Imagine the people sitting up there saying he had 40 years in there. Now, what message is being sent to everybody else?
You know what
everybody else is going.
Right, you know your value. You know how quick they dump you or I. That's the thing. These are what institutions do to the people who beloved them, who donate millions. This is why I'm a radical leftist and I indict institutions in general. Nothing but examples of institutions screwing over. They're not people, you guys. That's the problem. Yeah. We as individuals love to bond to companies, to institutions like they're people, and they're not. They're corporations, which make them soulless. Yeah. They have no morality. Yeah. It's a pretending to have morality.
Right. Think about the trustees. When you have a president that, somebody says, I'm pretty sure the president of the university probably didn't tell anybody, the board of trustees or anyone. I said, I bet you there's some buddy pals in there.
Oh, sure.
And there's some back talking where they say, you know what such and such did? And they went on about it. It's back talk. It's the secondary talk. And when they sat there and said, the president got shocked. I know he got shocked. He says, I got a relationship with the board. And they sat back and said, gone. You think about why they say trust one thing. It's a business and a system. It is.
But Mark, you guys, Vince, too, remember a different generation.
Yeah.
They're from a generation that was used to brushing sexual scandal underneath the table. They're used to that.
But here's the thing that I would never let them off the hook because of the timing of this. This is what 98.
They're old cats.
The Catholic Church is going on in Boston,
right,
and all over the world.
Yeah.
And
that's how hard was that to talk about?
How an institution,
right,
like a university, could think they could cover it up when the Catholic Church
couldn't do it. Thank you.
Wow.
Now now we get to that part. See, that's why I sit there and say, at the end of the day, when you're left with the vote, you said Joe did not commit the crime as it relates to committing crime. But you can't. You have a hard time saying, no, he did the most he can do, and that's it. I expect him to do no more. That's what I'm addressing. I'm saying, I can't.
I wish and hope that Mario Hemsley would have done more. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff you pray on.
Yeah,
that you say, God, if I'm ever in these situations, please, I pray that I have the strength to be the right person. Yeah. But you don't have any kind of arrogance about it, okay? It's very hard to be arrogant.
And he got to say his piece. They were trying to covet him to let's make him unofficial so when he does talk, it's not because we have to get behind him. And then when he came out, I said, oh, he's going to say some more. And then when he did, it became against McQuarrie. He says, well, McQuarrie reported hearing sounds. He didn't tell me he saw something. I said, oh, there goes the Continental Divide. So he's even more, it's one of those things where I say, so McQuarrie is lying, right? Now I start going, now everybody's covering CYA. Yeah. And so I wanted to wait it out. And I think no matter what comes out of this, there's no scapegoat as it relates to, we fixed the problem.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's really odd about this? The only guy left there on staff was McQuarrie.
Yeah, that's right.
Whether or not he did the wrong thing, we'll find out.
And students are going to hate him. He probably can't walk to campus.
Yeah, you're probably right.
They'll run him out of town.
Yeah. And so, hey, look.
Rightly or wrongly, they will.
They will.
Yeah.
What'll be interesting is the residual effect on all of this.
Oh, it is.
How it affects the recruiting. Do alumni for 40 years or plus, like you're saying, does that loyalty change? I'm not sending my son or my daughter to Penn State. And this is all, more news at 11.
Should they?
I know for me it wouldn't. It wouldn't affect. Like I'm more like with Mark. I don't know. I'm not. Again, I was UC. I'm a West Coast guy. I'm sorry. You're rooting against Penn State.
Yeah. You know
but that's not what he ever. His legend is out there. He's a known quantity. Joe Paterno's known. Yeah. He has done good. You can't toss out his lifetime. And the big thing about him is that he was different than the other coaches, and he openly compared himself to the Barry Switzers.
Oh, I know.
And all them.
True.
He actually cared about, and very few people did that. Yeah. And let me tell you something else. Known, even in those times, to be one of the more courageous in terms of embracing black folks in this country and giving them opportunities, as players, whatever. Known for that at a time when it was not popular.
Right.
Okay.
The hard part, the real hard part about it.
Rough neighborhood.
That's the truth. It's the truth. He did it.
It is so hard. The hard part is when you don't judge athletics and programs versus an individual.
There you go.
I'm being judged as an individual, as a man, and that's why I made my assessment on. I had to remove the legacy part because I had to go straight to the individual. If I don't hold him accountable as I would a neighbor that saw the same thing, why am I giving him more?
Right.
And I'm defined by my individuality, not my career education. That's something that we are out here to earn a living with. But who I am, like I said, media, we're involved in it right now. Aren't we painting a picture of who we project ourselves to be? Right. But to get to really know me is when you get me off camera. I'm a different person. And judge me from that, not what I'm doing here with this mic. Right. And I couldn't help but to say, as a man, he even said, I wish I could have done more. Yeah. That's all.
That's what a man would say.
That's right.
See, that's what a man would
How many
say.
people admit?
That's right. That's why I said, there you go.
See, I'm not indicting him for that.
That's right.
See, that's the problem. See, the problem with it is when you have a legacy and you are Paterno, McQuarrie doesn't have a legacy. No. So all the media goes toward where they get more spin.
Right.
McQuarrie's not going to give you that much spin.
That's the way the media definitely weighs in on all of it.
Hey, and
I think that's why they fired him.
They had this story long before this broke.
Yes, they sure
long
did.
Before.
Yeah,
they
didn't
did.
do anything with it.
I mean, because by the time they broke it, from the time he was fired, that was all media driven.
Yeah.
Because how much review did they actually have to do on the situation, the university itself?
But
Right.
hey, you guys, did they kill him? I mean, because that's the thing that kind of got to me a little bit. I think me too,
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah.
I say that absolutely broke his heart.
Yeah.
You can't. And how do you fight cancer
With a
can't.
broken heart.
and do that at the same time?
At 80
I just
at 85.
bowed my head. 85.
I know.
I just bowed my head because I said, you can't. How you gonna fight cancer with that kind of a broken heart from the thing that's
Yeah.
you love
I mean,
most?
how many
They killed him.
85-year-olds do they give
Yeah.
chemotherapy to?
Yeah.
I know. When
Yeah, they killed
when
him.
that
They killed
happened,
him.
Mark, I actually sat there and said, but still, I gave him
I'd be
still
mad
the
if I was his
blessings of
son.
stuff. I mean, I had to do it this way. I said, you're in a career where you get a plus 20 years over retirement age. A lot of people are forced out. For me, a healthy 85 and working in a place where you thrive, where in our system, and I know because I know people are going like, I'm being forced into retirement. It all depends the level. The hierarchy you are, the more you can sustain. So I look at it from a different perspective. I said, yeah, you've earned this, but at the same time, 20 years, you're 80. If he didn't have this health concern, how many more years would you
I
be
was
going?
wishing
90?
I was wishing any of them because when you get old, you start looking for people who get old. You say, "Damn, you look good." Thank you. Maybe I can. So I'm saying I got to embrace old folks who stay on the job.
Nice.
Hey, I have one because this is a special segment. This is the last because I can't cover everything. I don't want to get into the trending topics because by the time the video hits, the trending topics change. I got to say the Lakers are the closing statement here because there's some possible reported internal combustion happening with the Lakers organization.
Oh, no doubt.
Possible. Just possible.
Kobe, let me guess. He's disappointed.
Now, wait a minute. See, I want you to understand. We are on different sides of the fence when we come to the Lakers organization. You want to prep them and let them know where you stand on the side of the Lakers?
I'm just, okay, I'm from L.A., and people like say you're not a Lakers fan. I have my vision of the Lakers. It's, teams it ain't the same team for 30 years. So I'm not a Laker fan of every Laker team.
I don't like them since they kicked Shaq out of town.
I didn't like the Benoit Benjamin team. There's a bunch of teams
They ran
I didn't
Shaq
like.
out of town.
So I'm not a Kobe fan. I'm not a Kobe fan.
Kobe beat
I don't
Kobe.
hate Kobe or anything. I'm just not a Kobe fan. So hence, I like a number of Lakers, but no, I don't cry when they lose. I mean,
No, it's
I'm rooting for Oklahoma.
There's nobody. I don't care.
Mark, I don't even care. See, so we like I said, this is lukewarm.
So the internal combustion, what's going on? They're trading Luke Walton?
Well, no, this is so funny. Ooh,
That's
you
cold.
Went there.
Vince
So you know
went
what?
there. Vince went there.
He went to the question I've been asking.
Vince has insight on sports.
I've been asking this question.
Thank you.
You know what? I came to the conclusion, and Mark would know better than me because I'm not into this. I said, you can always let a player go when they're not performing, right? But if they're tied into a contract, and you don't want to waste the money and just waive them, the contract's too healthy, and nobody else has trade value because he doesn't have trade value, you're stuck. I had to come to that conclusion that Walton's on the bench because they're going, we got too much money in him.
No,
we
they
can't
gotta
trade him.
every
There
team's-
must be something else. Why is he still there year after year and not on the floor?
Because he's Bill Walton's kid.
See, he said it. I'm glad I didn't have to say it.
He's going to management. They got management players.
That much money, he should be PR on the sideline. Get rid of the chick. They got Lakers girls.
Hey.
Bring him in for the 30-second
They should.
interview between the quarters.
Hey, they kept Mitch Kupchak on the team too long too. Okay, he was on the bench
It's
too.
a different world now. In the NBA.
It should be Mitch
it's like
Hipcheck.
the NFL.
Hipcheck his ass out of
It's
there.
like the NFL, the NHL. There's not just it's not a capitalist system in the NBA now.
Right.
You got to be smart to compete
Come
now,
on.
not just spend the most money.
Come on.
You do.
I think Jerry's losing a steal on the wheel. Where's his daughter? Organization's teetering.
You know what? You're wrong. You're wrong.
But they're so rich, what difference does it make? I mean, this is L.A. market. You realize, you can do a really lousy job here and still make buku.
Oh, yeah, no.
You can.
Fail all day long
and make buku money.
Where do you do that?
Exactly.
You got to be an athlete.
Yeah. Wait, or you can't get you can't get past 4 years.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, what I'm going to do is this. I call it the eye test. It's too early in the season. I'm going to quote the names of the Lakers. And as I quote them, I'm going to give you just the points per game. And for the games that we've seen already.
I'm in trouble on this.
The eye test is who's overachieving, over-delivering, or underachieving. And all you have to say is thumbs up or thumbs down. Now, I know you guys, if you have relationships out there with the jocks friends, the neighbors, everybody else, you can abdicate. But anyway, so we're gonna do. It's gonna be interesting. Mario, you look. See,
get my hand ready.
All
thumbs
right.
up.
Okay,
thumbs up. Or thumbs down.
I'm gonna say the name, and I'm gonna say their points per game, and you got.
I'm gonna be honest.
That's right, me too.
I'm not going to know which way to go up or down because I really don't care.
You don't care.
And that's okay too.
I know. I love it.
I just want to know when they wear the white uniforms. I thought it was just on Sundays, but that's another topic.
That's
I want the tight ones back.
And you know what, Vince?
The nut huggers. You want the nut huggers back.
Vince, use your left hand. Because when it's up there close to Mark, I can say it's a high rise. All right, there we go.
All right.
Here we go. I'm going to say the name. You say thumbs up, thumbs down. First name. Kobe Bryant, 30.5 points per game. Oh, I love that.
That hurts.
That hurts, I know. Second, Andrew Bynum. He's kicking in 15.8 points per game. Whoa, we got two.
I'm giving a thumbs up as long as he can last.
No, wait a minute. Mark, you guys, what's wrong with Andrew?
He's never going to be a great player.
Wow.
Get rid of him. Package him with Gasol. Get Howard.
Wow.
And make it so.
So Chris Webber.
He's on a clock. I like him, but I think he's on a clock.
Chris Webber.
He's not going to last.
I agree with that.
He's not going to last.
Chris Webber and a couple of others said, I know you guys, it's a shock value, that he's a better total package than Dwight Howard. Do you agree?
When I heard that.
Bynum?
You did, didn't you?
I laughed.
I know. Bynum.
That guy's looking for media coverage.
Okay, good. All right, good. Now let me tell you the preface.
Based on what?
I know.
I mean, a dream. Oh, so then Odom is too. Then
you know what it is.
How about that?
What I thought was Bynum had higher numbers. That's why I did thumbs down. Because he was at one point, he was almost like 20 and 12.
You know, I think they fell in love.
And at 15, I
Flacco had better numbers than.
Geez, now let's go there.
Once
Joe
again,
Flacco.
So
He is the Ritalin quarterback. I got to comment on Joe Flacco because he's a Paisan. He has the least amount of emotion of any football player in history.
He's Teflon.
No, he's like Ritalin.
He is.
It's like he's got checked out. He ain't there. It's like you can't tell if it's a preseason game or the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship. It's like, Joe, somebody give you a Snuggie or something. Get some energy up here, bro. Come on. Okay. All right, so that's my Joe Flacco.
Okay. Thumbs up for Joe. He delivered.
He's a Paisan. He got to be Joe.
Thumbs up for Joe.
Yeah,
Joe.
But the part
Joe. I'm a Steeler fan. Go down, Joe.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say this. I think why they like Bynum. So one thing you do like about Bynum that he has over Howard, but Howard still the total package is better. He loves to go straight to the ball, to the hole. He likes to face and go right at it.
And
Dwight is learning how to do that. And using that part, that's the only part.
It's all dynamics. Howard creates a different energy from the defense. And what happens right now is because Kobe is aging and he's entering in a different style of game.
Right.
And you need somebody who's got to have the appeal that if it's not just Kobe and all attention on Kobe, you got that second guy.
Right.
Gasol came in, he was red hot. He played that for a while.
But now,
he's not there anymore.
Well, you know,
Bynum never lived up to it.
They can try with Gasol, they do, but what happens? They gets burned out because everybody goes physical on him, and that's what happens.
Wears him down.
He can't do it every night, day. That's what happened last time. You have to have something else.
I think the bigger
they
mistake
will wear
was
on you.
They're hurting from the.
I like Gasol though. I like him.
I like him, but
I like him.
Do they not have a weight room?
Hire him, Lakers. Hire this man.
Well, some people are known for work ethic. Aren't some players known for their work ethic and how they hit the gym? Dwight Howard is supposed to be one of them gym beast people.
He's a mirror beast. He can't stop looking at himself.
At least they're in there working. You have to get out the bed, let go of the pork chops.
Look at.
You do. I mean, I love some pork chops. You gotta hit the gym.
Look at
like Mark said.
I'm saying this. Look at Andrew Bynum and see how much weight he picked up based on when he was first there. He has hit the gym. Powell, his mentality is not to get in there and get beefy strong.
No.
He is the one that said, this is the quote because I never got the lead in on this. He actually was interviewed and said because of the Howard trade, the speculation and everything, that he and Bynum, in his own way, he was saying two big men are better than one. That was an attack against the Howard deal. So he's now saying they're not getting the ball as much. So what's happening is the reason why we're not delivering, we're not getting the ball. Hence, there's a controversy of ball distribution within the Lakers team.
Like I told you when you brought this up.
Yeah.
See, this Vic brought this up, and I said, what if the coach is saying do this, and you have the players who ain't doing it? If they're not getting the ball into the big men, and Kobe Bryant is scoring all the points, somebody's making a decision about what they do with the ball. That's Kobe, right?
Coach Kobe.
That's right. That's what I said. You can tell him Kobe put the ball, but I keep saying who's going to go in there, and becomes a big issue. We've seen it before where players today feel big enough to challenge the coach. Yeah. There's no question they do that.
I mean, all the way to Magic Johnson.
Oh, yes.
Westhead.
That was what I brought up.
Yeah.
Magic got Westhead fired.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The NBA. They don't play,
Del Harris.
They don't play.
Yes.
They don't play systems anymore. It's a street game. Yeah. Look at Kobe. He's the best street player in the world.
Yep.
Oh, Kevin Durant.
That's what he
street
does.
game is
Well,
pretty
now,
tight right now.
as we're going to see. Well, certainly, that's what you said, the implosion, right?
Right.
The implosion is about this.
It's really them saying, because
who said it, Vic?
Well, it was Powell quoted being interviewed. I saw the interview. I was watching, and he said 2 big men are better than 1. And it was surrounding that if you don't get us the ball more. So if somebody went back to the stats. This is the part I love, where I sit back and say, when you find a reason, then you better check your stats. So somebody went to check the stats on the ball distribution last year. They said, they're getting exactly the amount of touches they got last year.
Yeah.
So where's the problem? Problem is you didn't increase your game. Your game has to evolve, and you have to enhance something in your portfolio. I can say Andrew Bynum, through his injuries, has increased his thing.
So
his
far.
problem is problem is, can he stay healthy?
Who believes he can stay healthy? Nobody.
Can he stay out of the Playboy Mansion? Every time I see a picture of the brother, he's smiling like a butcher's dog. Andrew Bynum knows the way to the Playboy Mansion. That's what I'm.
Now there are those things in life, Vince, that are important.
If Andrew Bynum got traded and say played for Milwaukee, you would never hear his name.
That's right.
Never.
Like Kevin Love doesn't get his love, right? Why?
Oh yeah, Kevin
let somebody else be making the numbers. I said
Kevin Love's doing great.
When he came out of UCLA, I said he's going to be a journeyman, a little bit better than Rambis. Kurt Rambis.
Great heart.
He is changing the landscape of how I said don't predetermine.
I really like him. I
think a lot of people thought he was going to be like Tyler Hansbrough.
Wow.
And it's like, if you were to look at that one point where they were in college together that same year.
That's my kind of thought.
And it's like he's just gelled.
Yeah, totally.
Turned into a man right before your eyes.
Okay, now I got to do this because I'm going to do quick names, and you guys tell me.
Okay.
Here it is, because I'm getting to the meat right now. I'm going to go quick.
Oh, get to the meat.
I'm getting to Derek Fisher, Matt Barnes, and Meta World Peace. Derek Fisher, I want it thumbs up, thumbs down.
He gets 2 thumbs down. He's old and tired.
Mario, I can't wait. You're on social media right now, man.
Dude, he's pulling his pee because he's hitting 3-point shots at the end.
Wait a minute. Be the GM.
No, I need to see him down in the low box at Crispy High School.
So Mark,
business.
See, you have to find the right answer.
He just likes to pick on me.
No.
He knows I like Derek Fisher. He's one of the Lakers I like
him.
Yeah, but you know what? You guys are right. He's at the end of his career.
Well,
I just happen to just love him as a player, as a person. I really do.
Let me say
he
this.
is one class act.
No question.
He is one.
I like
but yeah, everybody's right. I'm surprised he's still playing this year.
He's scoring right now 5.1 points per game as your point guard. Now let me say
what's
this.
His time? What's his minutes?
His minutes is a little. It's like hovering around 20 something.
Oh no, he needs to put more up.
Throw up a couple of threes a game. 6 points. I could do that.
See,
holy.
Y'all just gonna beat up on me. I just have to take it. I just have to lower my head and take Derek Fisher.
I love it.
He's still my man. He's still my man.
I know he's your man. He's tweeting.
He's one of the Lakers I cling to. So if you take away Derek, in a minute I don't have no Laker loyalty in a minute. You ain't got that many to take away. I'm just saying. He's one of the players that I have a loyalty to. I really do.
Nice class act.
Well, I remember, I'm just saying this. I remember being on the courts and playing, and they said, Vic is a nice guy, but they don't pick you. They pick him as the 11th man. What's the 11th man? You just sit on the bench until somebody picks you for the next game. What's nice going to get you?
I said, okay. I give.
Jeez. Now, all right, there
it's
you go.
It's like abuse after a minute.
All right. I want to actually see your thumb.
He has to go.
All right.
But give him a lot of money on the way out.
Look.
He's got kids.
Weak thumb, but I'm gonna let you go on
I'm
this
not
one.
hard.
Now I'm gonna get to Matt Barnes. Oh, you guys are stuck because you know why? Because he hustles and he's
I like him.
And let me say this: he's in a position where he wasn't supposed to start.
I like him, and I watch Basketball Wives. His old lady's all right with me.
I have no idea, so I'm just going.
No, you know what it is. He's the kind of guy that you can never have enough of on your team.
Yeah, I know. He's the guy that does the extra things.
Yeah, he's that scrapper. His numbers don't come up.
All right.
You mean Kobe doesn't do that?
No, come on. Kobe's got a photo op going.
Like I said.
Hey, here we go. Kobe's going to be looking for new
like I
license.
said. And like I said, I'm sorry. Like I said.
Oh, here we go. We got
Magic and Kobe are way different.
Okay.
To me.
All right. We got one more here. This is the one that's cold. You guys are cold. We got one more. This one, when you change your name to Meta World Peace, you have to take another level. Now, thumbs up, thumbs down, Meta World Peace. Oh, I can't wait for this.
I'm embracing his spiritual transformation. That's going to cause his game to go to shit.
Wait a minute.
He's got one of these. He's got a big upside in it.
Like Vince said.
I have to say that it is probably the second best name in sports that I've seen. World Be Free will never be.
Oh yeah, remember that? World Be Free?
Never.
But he backed it up after that in a way. After he changed his name, he then proceeded to have a season or two. He lit the damn league up. Right.
Meta's busy counting yen. He don't know what's up.
The World Peace is two words.
He's got rubber toy figures all over the place.
Thank you.
That's like Ocho Cinco's not 85. It's 8-5s.
Exactly right.
So what I think I'm getting from you guys is you're caught between. Just say his name was Ron Artest the way we know it. Would you have a change? Or is this Meta World Peace clouding?
Trade bait.
What is it?
No, I'll keep him.
You'll keep him?
He gave away his championship ring.
Okay.
He took a lot of flack for that fight in Detroit a few years back. I mean, he gives away his championship ring at an auction for charity. Who does that?
Okay.
He's become a different person, but that also, to me, I don't know if that makes you a better ball player because we needed him being, he was he's all, like Vince said, he's zen. He'll hand you a daisy now and kiss you or something at the game.
It doesn't matter because it's a Clipper town.
There we go. It is a Clipper town.
It's a new day.
It is Clipper town.
I said it's a new Showtime in
That's
LA.
right. It is a new Showtime.
City.
I'm sure.
Correct.
I'm sure they'll have him find a way to mess it up, but right now it's a Clipper town.
It is. You know what?
It is.
This is how bad it is. Even if they were losing, I still watch them to watch Blake. I can't help it.
No, I did last year. Now I'm watching all the time.
Well, you know what, Mario? I can't hit the other stuff. I'm out of my new sports. I'm cool. I know who's not going to be on the Lakers.
That's right. We know who's not. That's right. Thanks to our guests, Vince Cortese, Mark Francis. Hey, new sports, Victor Allen. Get ready to have that hot picks. Ooh.